Hey there friends, welcome to another crochet video. So I had a few of my viewers reach out and ask if I could assist them with a Spider-Man crochet from the Marvel Universe Crochet book. Now I'll leave a link down to where you can find this book on Amazon. I'm not affiliated or anything, it's just I had done a review for the book and someone had reached out because they were a little bit confused. Now I am going to throw out this disclaimer of two things. This pattern is copyrighted. It says so clearly in the inside, so if you are watching this video hoping to learn how to crochet this is not the video that you want to end up watching, just mainly because I can't show you the pattern. It violates the copyright that they have on this book, and I'm not here to make Marvel mad. The second disclaimer is when it comes to embroidering, I am terrible at it, so please be gentle in the comments about the end of the video where I show you my finished, because I am terrible at embroidering 100%. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the video and I'll try to explain as much as I can. So, as always, let's start with the feet. So we are going to work on creating this little bump right here that ends up making the boot of Spider-Man end up having its fun little shape. So what you're going to go ahead and do is just follow row 1 or round 1, my apologies, for how to create the feet or legs as it is listed in the book. Now, what kind of makes this one a little bit confusing is it says in round 2, you are going to single crochet 2 and then do a bubble stitch twice. Now, I actually looked to see if I could find it anywhere in the book where it explains what a bubble stitch is, and I couldn't find that, so I'm going to explain that to you. What it is, a bubble stitch is a 3 double crochet together. So what you're going to do is yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, pull through 1, pull through 2, but leave that last loop. And then do it again, leaving 3, yarn over, insert, pull through 1, pull through 2, and then we're going to pull through all 4 loops, and that's how you make a bubble stitch. So again, it's 3 double crochets into 1. So 1 double crochet into the next stitch, a 2nd double crochet into that same stitch, and then a 3rd double crochet into that same stitch, and then you pull through all 3 loops. And that is how you do the bubble stitch, so you can create the fun little shape for Spider-Man's feet. Now this pattern has you changing colors back and forth, so what I like to do when it comes to changing colors is when I get to my last stitch, so this would be a single crochet, so I just insert my hook for a regular single crochet and pull through my yarn. Then I'm going to create a slip stitch or slip knot at the end of the blue yarn, insert my hook and pull it through to finish off that last single crochet for that row. That way you start out with a fresh color and you just work that around. So that's kind of my little sneaky trick on how to end up changing colors from your work. My next trick that I use for stuffing small little things that my fingers won't fit into because I have chubby fingers is I actually will end up pulling small bits of my polyester fiber fill and using the back of my crochet hook to kind of shove that down in there. Just make sure you don't overstuff. Now this did have instructions in the book, but I felt like I needed to cover how you connect the 2 feet with each other. So with the feet facing away from you, so the heels of Spider-Man's boots are facing towards you, you're going to put your hook through one side and then through the other side. So you're going to have 2 crochet stitches, one from each boot, and then I kind of look and make sure that I like the placement of the feet. You'll make sure they're kind of facing the right direction. And then from there, you're going to take your yarn and you're going to create a slip stitch or slip knot at the end of it. I made one that was way too small, so give me 1 second while I fix that. And then what you're going to do is you are going to use this to start off with. You're going to just pull this slip through both of those stitches. And then you're going to work a single crochet to kind of knot it in place. And what that's going to do is this stitch does not count as a stitch. This is just a connecting thing. You'll never touch this stitch again. From there, you just follow the rest of the pattern of single crocheting. And what you want to do is you want to do your 6 single crochets that the pattern calls for through 1 boot. And then when you get to the other side, once you finish your 6 here, you are just going to pick up the next stitch into the next boot. So you got right there where you ended up connecting. We're not counting that as a stitch, that's ignored. We go into the next one, and that is the start of our next 6 to be worked in that boot, and that's how you get the 12. Now we're going to jump forward to changing between red and blue. Again, I leave my last stitch undone with 2 loops, and to connect, I pull my red yarn through. Now, what I ended up looking at for this pattern was it wants you to end up having sections to where you're working in the back of Spider-Man and you need your red yarn to be in the front of Spider-Man. So after we've worked his belt, we're going to switch back to blue like the pattern calls for. But what you're going to do is you are going to carry your red yarn with you. And what that ends up meaning is you're going to go ahead and insert your hook like you're going to do a regular single crochet, because we are. But instead of just pulling through our work and continuing on, what we're going to do actually is take that red yarn and we're just going to lay it on top of our hook. So when we pull through our blue, we're actually crocheting over it. And this is going to carry your red yarn with you through your work all the way until we get to the front of his tummy, and that's when we will end up switching to red. Now, what I ended up finding for making his chest pattern look a little bit cleaner was that once you ended up getting to the front of his stomach, to give him more of a cleaner line, you're going to work your single crochets with the blue. Then when it's time to switch to red, you're going to finish off. You had those 2 blue loops, finish off, bam. Now we're going to be working on red. So we're going to go ahead and work our single crochets that we need to in the color red. Again, we are going to carry the color blue behind the work. That way we're always carrying the yarn with us. And sometimes you might need to pull the yarn a little bit tight if it's showing through. And don't worry, it's not a big deal. Just pull it a little snug. But to give this a nice cleaner line on the other side, instead of doing the whole 2 loops and then pull through the blue to connect the colors, because we're going right to left, you want to actually just work your last single crochet in red and then just pick up the blue yarn into the next stitch. And the reason you want to do this is this will actually end up giving you a nice clean line transition between your colors. So again, when it comes to the tummy of doing the red on the right side, you want to leave your 2 blue loops and pull through and have your red. And then when it comes to finishing off on the left hand side, again, you want to just work your red like normal. Now you might have to watch this back just a little bit. Hopefully I explained that pretty well, but it's just about carrying your work is gonna what ends up giving you that nice, clean, smooth defined edge. It's just a little trick. It's not in the book, but that's kind of how I did it for my Superman, my Spider-Man. Who am I crocheting? So the last thing I wanted to cover in this book is it says that you want to do an invisible decrease, and what that ends up meaning that instead of doing a decrease like I normally do where you just go through all the loops, you just want to single crochet into the front loop. So you'll pop in through the front loop, yarn, pull through, pull through, pull through. Let's look at that again. So this will end up making you not have the giant gaps in your work, and that's definitely going to be helpful with his neck. So again, it's through the front loop, pull through, insert through the front loop, pull through, then pull through all 3, and that's how you do an invisible decrease. Now jumping to the end, like I said, I cannot embroider. I cannot do any of that. I am not good at that. I can crochet, and you know, this is how my Spider-Man ended up turning out. So what I ended up doing was I tried to embroider my best. I did a really bad job, and I ended up taking a pin, a black pin, and kind of edging it like the picture and making the spider look more. It looks awful, but I'm like I warned you at the beginning of the video, I am not good at embroidering. So I'm really sorry I failed you, Spider-Man. But hopefully this video helps you determine how to end up creating this crocheted Spider-Man for yourself. Again, I'll leave a link down in the description below on how you can find this book. You could probably find it anywhere where any crafting book is sold. But yeah, hopefully this helped. If it did, give this video a like, leave me a comment, and let me know what you think. Again, I'm really sorry that my embroidery was so terrible, but it is not my strong suit in the slightest bit. That would be my mom's terrain. Well, hopefully you come back and enjoy some of my other crochet videos. As always, I want you to have a fabulous day and happy crocheting!